My name is Sasha Persal. My family tribal name is Whaleboat.
My name is Shamindra Shotria.
So my name's Monko Alek.
My name is Makesha.
I'm Thomas Herdlicka.
I'm Graham Ackers.
Samantha Antolik.
Tess McGrath.
Marika Bassani. My skin name is Waren, which means rain in my language.
Professor Mark Hutchinson.
I'm a Torres Strait Islander human rights lawyer from Australia.
I am a proud Jurrumbal Tongan woman, born and raised in Sydney.
I'm a military veteran. I was comms in the military.
I'm a medical scientist at the Adelaide Medical School at the University of Adelaide.
I'm a human rights lawyer and early career legal academic, and I'm also a 2020 American Australian Association Aurora Indigenous Education Scholar.
I'm a AAA Veterans Fund Scholar.
I am the Nomad Two Worlds Indigenous Art Scholar.
I'm an American Australian Association Greg Norman Veteran Scholar.
2020 Australia to USA Graduate Wildfire Research Scholar.
I have always known that the reason that I was put on this earth was to do music. And I am currently studying recorded music at New York University in New York City.
I was going to go for the Master of Environment degree at University of Melbourne. It appealed to me because I think the planet could use a little bit of tender, loving care.
I am at University of Sydney, going to the veterinary school. My year 3 project involves taking photographs of the cassowary to identify individuals in the population.
I have a novel coming out next year about an urban Indigenous young man who's trying to figure out his identity.
I model risk and severity of wildfires.
I look into the genetics of rare diseases.
Light and its interaction with biology.
Indigenous conceptualizations of gender and sexuality and how that interacts with the law.
The socioeconomic and cultural impacts of climate change in the Torres Strait.
One of my projects that I worked on was the largest ever genetic resource to interpret rare disease variants. And this resource was so successful that now it's being used by all the clinical genetics labs in the world.
My end goal is to become an expert on Indigenous human rights at the United Nations. It's to give voice and strength and agency to the people of the Torres Strait.
The cassowary is endangered, so if this works, we can help bring the cassowary population back up.
The AAA scholarship really helps me to build a world where Indigenous people like myself, who are expressing diverse gender and sexual identities, are actually celebrated and valued rather than shamed.
My work has enabled the creation of the first objective measurements of pain, which is now underpinning non-addictive pain-relieving medicines. The AAA Fellowship got me to America. It really was the very beginning of that journey. There is no other fellowship scheme like the AAA Fellowship Scheme. It fills a key gap, which is critical for the future of science generally and for the engagement between Australia and US on multiple fronts.
The opportunity not only to be in another country, but also to connect with the AAA's network is really valuable as well.
The fellowship's only for a year, but it was sort of like an ongoing relationship. It's given me a platform for more people to hear about my research and getting that research out there.
I came from a lower middle class family and we couldn't afford education. So I think the AAA was really important, especially for someone like me. Like, I feel so much better knowing that, pretty much this whole year is paid for by them.
The scholarship I've received is something that I am continually humbled by and will be forever grateful for.
Learning from another culture ends up giving you a great foundation of also wanting to give back.
I think donating to the AAA is one of the greatest things you can do, honestly.
I hope that young Indigenous women can look at my experience and go, she did that, so can I.
I certainly could not have taken advantage of going to Melbourne to study if it had not been for the generous donors.
That small gift today suddenly transpires into a lifetime of returns.
What we do now has definite impact on future generations.